Hello everyone, I'm Neyah and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're gonna find out, are you a starseed, an indigo, a crystal, or even a rainbow child? If you're interested, just keep on watching. A lot of people right now that the planet is shifting in awareness, and we're understanding that we're more than this human body, our thoughts and our emotion. We're actually a multidimensional being having a human experience, is asking, but what are we? Are we starseed? Are we indigos? Are we crystals? What are these esoteric concepts? Well, I'm here to shed a little bit of light, and as usual, I'm gonna be a little bit unconventional, and I'm going to give you guys my own research and perspective. That's probably a little bit different for what you hear around, and that's the fun of it, isn't it? So let's talk about starseed. What does it mean, starseed? It means a seed of star, so something that it's made of star. But guess what? Scientific researchers are proving that the same elements there are in the star are the elements that constitute our body in essence. And what are these elements? These elements are carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. The only difference between stars and us is the percentage of these elements that is different between stars and humans, but we're made by the same matter of stars. We are stardust. So literally, in my perspective, everybody is a starseed. Everybody is a multidimensional being, is a soul. We are made by the same elements of the universe. And isn't that great? But when you get more into spirituality, there are a lot of people again talking about light workers, in that sense, starseed, people that come maybe from other incarnation. The three waves of volunteers, the indigos and the crystals, are as the children of tomorrow and of today. But who is the person that wasn't only the first one? She was one of the first one theorizing this concept, and surely the first one introducing the concept of the three waves of volunteer. This person was a woman called Dolores Cannon. I'm gonna put a photo up here somewhere. Who is Dolores Cannon? Dolores Cannon was an hypnotherapist. She started her career as a hypnotherapist around the 60s. So I'm gonna get there in a second, because she theorized and she introduced the concept and the shifting awareness that we're having now a while ago. So in the 60s, she starts to do hypnotherapy. First of all, just to heal addictions, smoking, drugs, alcohol, and then she was brave enough to go even deeper. The mind basically is divided into conscious mind, subconscious mind, and unconscious mind, okay? So a lot of hypnotherapists weren't going in the deepest state of unconscious mind because they thought it was really dangerous. She was bold enough to analyze and regress people to the state of unconsciousness. And what happens in there is that the conscious mind cannot interfere anymore. And she was starting to have revelation, not only about the future, but about the experience between life and life. So after death, the middle before reincarnation. So she was having a broader perspective. And as other hypnotherapists, like later Dr. Newton or even Brian Weiss, she was talking with the elders and the masters, these higher beings that were telling her what it was going to happen in the future and in the future of humanity. And she introduced a concept called the three waves of volunteers. What am I talking about? According to her research, planet Earth is basically a planet that is on quarantine. And so there are other planets and other forms in this universe and other universes, and we are guarded by angelic beings or light beings called the Watchers. The spirit world, the non-physical, is watching over us, so we don't create disasters, or we don't interfere too much with other planets and with other civilization and things like that. So what happens is that after the invention of the nuclear bomb, and obviously everything that happened in the Second World War, there was a call in the universe and in the non-physical, again, according to Dolores Cannon, saying Earth is in danger. We try to watch Earth from the outside. We need volunteers. We need people from the inside like beings, like human beings that help raise the human race to a whole different awareness and shift the vibration. And that's why we talk today about the fifth dimension, which is nothing but a vibration, like I always say, available to us to have higher state of consciousness where we understand that we are more than this human body. So the call was heard by the non-physical. Again, according to her regression, I'm not inventing anything. And in the spirit world, some souls decided to volunteer, okay? And these souls were either souls that never incarnated on Earth again, they weren't familiar with this planet, or souls that were almost angelic beings, they were very high in vibration and very close to source. And everybody volunteered. We have a first wave of volunteer coming in after the Second World War, and it's called the baby boom. And funny enough, she was gathering this information in the early 60s. And if you remember, in the 70s, at the end of the 60s and the 70s, we have an episodes like Woodstock, 3 days of music, peace, love, and oneness. And I wonder if that was the first wave of volunteers and light workers that came here to shift the awareness. And it was also the age of Aquarius, but this is just my assumption and I could be totally wrong. Then after the first wave, she speaks about the second wave, those who are the indigo children. And actually, the concept of indigo children was introduced not by her, by a psychiatrist called Nancy Ann Tapp, that was noticing the peculiar abilities in the 70s of certain children. She was clairvoyant and she saw that these children had a blue aura around them, and they were not only capable of recalling their past lives, but they were smart beyond their age. They also had supernatural powers, meaning third eye activation. And she talks about, Dolores Cannon, about the indigo children being the children of today, the young people, but also the people that were born around the 80s to the 90s, overlapping a little bit. I think also people that right now are 24 could be easily indigo children, so let's not focus too much on the age, okay? But usually are the people that were born around the 80s and the 90s. And the second wave were the indigo. The indigo were here, on the contrary of the first wave, not only to show a different vibration to the world, but to be the first one awakening to who they really were. The indigos are also associated not only by third eye activation, natural born leaders, but they are the rebellious type. They break any convention. They cannot stand conformity of any kind. They tear boxes apart. I was told that I was an indigo children, and it makes me laugh all the time because I remember when I was a child, and apart from remembering past life of things like that, which I have a thought also because Dolores Cannon talks about that. I remember everybody associates indigo children with rebellious people, having tattoos and piercing. But you know what? Yes, this could be true, but it's also true the contrary, because when tattoos and piercing became like a mainstream thing, as an indigo children, you just change. You don't want to conform. Indigo children are the type of souls that don't want to conform to anything. They always break convention. They're constantly evolving, constantly changing, because they're here to be special, to be different, and to break the system. So you're one if you're resonating with this. And then Dolores Cannon talks about also a third wave of volunteers. The third wave of volunteers are the children and the young people of today. So after the 90s, and they come here with a whole complete different awareness. They are here to rebuilding the new planet. They're all about love. They are almost enlightened beings. They incarnate almost enlightened. They just want to share love. And that's why we talk about crystals and rainbow children. But since I believe the labels are nothing but separation and they limit our perspective, I want you guys to become all starseed, all indigos, and all crystals. So are you a starseed? Yes. Are you an indigo and a crystal? Well, the only thing that you gotta ask yourself is, when you were a child, did you thought that you couldn't understand this world? You thought that there was something wrong and you were here to change it, to bring an awareness, but you don't really know what your purpose is. You're always seeking for your purpose, but maybe your purpose is just being at your fullest potential. You are one of these three waves. Since you were a child, you were saying things, I want to go home. Because like I told you, many of these beings not only were earth angels, basically higher beings incarnated back into this reality, but also they were people never incarnated on earth. And the Dolores Canon explains when they remember past life, it's because they studied the Akashic records and they had an imprint of what a past life on earth looked like. If you don't know what the Akashic records are, please check my video entitled Akashic Records. So again, you are one of these three waves if you just don't fit in. When you understood and saw videos online about light work and the shift in awareness in this planet, you almost cried and burst into tears. You resonated so much with that concept that you were like, wow, I can't believe that this finally is happening. You are one of these people, either if you are so rebellious but so full of love and you want to bring your message, or if you're just full of love and you know that there is a better way. You want to tear apart this type of society and rebuild it coming from a place of oneness, love, no more separation. And that's why you don't really care at the end of the day if this is indigo, crystal, or rainbow. For you, everything's all the same because you're here to change. You're also one of these people, one of these three waves of volunteers. If you feel different, if you were bullied sometimes because of your psychic gift, because you were talking different, you were very bored at school, like every teacher was repeating the same stuff, and maybe you were very good or your grades weren't that great and you were simply bored, like you just couldn't stand it. Why adults need to repeat stuff over and over and over again? Like, I get it the first time. This is how I felt when I was at school. I felt like, oh my goodness, why people are so slow? And I don't mean that judgmentally, but I mean, when I was 8, 10, that's what I would say. I would say, why people are so slow? Can you not get it faster? If you're that type of person, definitely you are one of the three waves of volunteer. So I'm here to say it doesn't matter if you fit the indigo description, the starseed, the crystal, or the rainbow. You are different. You are special. You are here to bring change. You are here not to conform, not to fit in. And if you add the sensation that you are here for a mission, of course you are. And your mission, it's not a God-given mission. Your mission is chosen by you. It's to live at your fullest potential. Your dreams can come true, and they will come true. You create your own reality. Everybody does, but you get it more than anybody else. So I just want you guys to say, go ahead and change this world. Change for the better. Teach other people the ways of love, because that's exactly what you came here to do. You came here to be who you naturally are and to live at your fullest potential. Thank you so much, Guy, and keep in mind, you're never wrong if you follow love. Bye.